Yo, Akako. Okay, let me turn this down a little bit. There we go. I hope everything is going well. Did I stream this week? Well, I'm streaming right now. I don't believe I streamed on Monday or Wednesday. I didn't stream yesterday because I've been helping my friend out with, I've been helping my friend move. It's possible that I might also help him tomorrow. I've been a little weak. So, I've been kind of doing this. I like Pokemon in the upcoming Digimon game. I heard about the Digimon game. I do like Pokemon, but, I've been kind of hit and miss. Like, I've been in and out of the series. I still have yet to play Gen 5 and proper Gen 6, though I have played, a ROM hack of, Alpha Sapphire. Taka. I have never been killed that way. Cool. Okay. I am, of course, the ideal monster collecting game. Yeah, that depends on if Nintendo doesn't do some dumb stuff, because like they're trying to like copyright the monster capture stuff. Or well, not Nintendo but Game Freak. So, if I don't stream tomorrow, it's going to be because I'm helping my friend. Helping my friend move. Still, because, like, they're still... I mean, technically he's supposed to move out by today, but his landlord is dumb. So, I might go tomorrow, depending on if we're moving heavy stuff. Because there's a futon in his old place that, Buenas, ¿qué tal? There's a futon in the upstairs that I might be helping with. Yo, Michala. What's up? I played a lot of Silksong today. I've had a very eventful week. Very, very eventful week. Which I kind of like, I posted a little bit. Son diferentes, sí. Son diferentes. Can I not get up here? This way? Yo, div. Let me land. Okay, fine. I'll just go the other way. So, I'm fairly certain that I'm a shoo-in for the master's program for teaching English as a second language. That's pretty big. As long as I can find a way to secure funding. I will essentially be able to start the master's program in, after winter break. I also have been building connections. I ended up, befriending an administrator of, Tokyo University, who's at my university right now. So, and he knows that I am interested in teaching language, and he also says I'm a good teacher, which is, like, kinda big, because if that means that I have somebody that will vouch for me. So, yeah. And I didn't even know, by the way. I was just, like, helping him out with learning English, and then I learned he's an administrator for Tokyo University. Like, big stuff happened. Unfortunately, this also means that I'm not sure how much free time I'm gonna have after winter. Yo, Tia, thanks for the good luck. That's the only thing that I don't really know about right now, is just how much free time I'm going to have after December. Because, if I'm starting a master's program, I'm not so sure how much, free time I'll have. So I'm going to try to make the most of it, but also, unfortunately, I need to prioritize, Vale, me alegro. So the TLDR with that is that, considering it's a master's program, it's essentially going to decide my career. I have to write a goal statement, which I'm thinking, or how I'm thinking I'm going to write the goal statement is, like, I'm going to want to try to take it not as, what is going on? Not as, like, just specifically for English teaching, but I want to be able to adapt it. Yo, Yosef. I want to adapt it to be able to teach other languages too at the university level. ¿Qué tal mi día? Fue Silk Song y nada más. Pues es que estaba ayudando mi amigo mudándose literalmente toda la semana. Es que estoy cansado. Me siento muy cansado. Pero es que sí, sí no entendiste, ¿verdad? Es que ya tengo vínculos para entrar en la maestría y mi carrera. En que ya tengo un amigo en que es administrador de la Universidad de Tokio. Pues sí. Pero es que estaré ocupado después de entrar en la maestría. Básicamente. Yo, Jetlight, thanks for the good luck. ¿De casa? Sí. Pero yo no. Mi amigo sí. Gracias. Okay. I don't know how that worked, but okay. It just worked. No. Damn it. This route is more hard than the old route. In what regard? Do you mean standard route or early hub 4? And do you mean very specifically Cortex Antagony? Because early hub 3 is absolutely way harder than early hub 4. Early hub 4 is actually quite easy, and I would even say it's almost easier than standard route. I almost jumped too early. How am I? I'm okay. I'm tired. Cortex! How'd you do that? I should have grabbed that checkpoint. Oh well. just practice. Famous last words. Okay, that was weird. Okay, I need to wait. And I failed it anyway, it's okay. Okay, headset. Damn it! Why is my phone above the cord? Why is my deodorant above the cord? Okay, so I need to practice classroom. Because I've been having a lot of issues with classroom for some reason. That's a bad angle. I'll stop being so stubborn about that. Damn you. Okay. Okay. Yo, Ali, what's up? Please don't kill me. Thank you. Good luck on the run. Thanks. This I've been struggling with for some reason. There you go. Almost failed it. Kind of did that a little bit too far away. Everybody can hear me, right? Oh, cool. What do I do in this situation? Aw? What is little bro talking about? What? Did you guys see how Crash just snapped to that? That was crazy. What the hell? Yo, Rage. Da 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 da. Yeah. Yo, flowers on my head. Just pretend that these gems are here. I hate it when it does that. Oh yeah. Forgot about that. Yeah, that wasn't a camera issue. The issue there was, Crash just got moved to the wrong place. Cool slide glitch. I appreciate it.
The old alma mater. As a former student myself, I'm well acquainted with the many secrets this institution holds.
Nice. Thanks, flowers, for the stonks. Nice.
Oh, could things get any worse?
If I bore you, what does that even mean? I got the camera stuck here. It's actually really good too, because you could perfectly see it. I cannot make that cycle. Okay. Easy. Haha. Vortex? What is he doing? Vortex was trolling. I almost died. Ooh. Nice. Jump, throw. Ooh, that was scary. Okay. Now Cortex won't be in his running animation, so that's gonna make things a little easier for me. Okay, why did I proxy there? Don't dance. Think Cortex go invisible is funny. Yeah, the thing is Cortex isn't actually invisible. He's just in a different chunk. He's where he's supposed to be, just in the wrong chunk. It is still funny, you're right. This whole game is silly. Wah. No! Get out of here. Nice. Curse Splash is nice. Body slam, the nitro, or the TNT. Yes. I do not have any timed obligations today, so I can stream as much as I like. I'm not going to be able to, like, I'm not going to sit here and say, like, I'll be able to, like, stream the rest of the day. Because, like, my brain's kind of fuzzy. I guess the best way to say it is my brain's kind of fuzzy. I'm recovering from, eating something bad. Well, it's not that it was necessarily bad, but bad for me. That it really weighed on me for, like, the whole week. On top of having to, well, not having to, but, on top of helping my friend move and everything, and all the walking that I have to do in class. What was it? It was a, calzone that had a lot of corn ingredients in it. And it just screwed my stomach up really bad. Like, I mean, I usually have stuff that contains corn just because, well, you can't really avoid it in the United States. But, this one had a lot of concentration of corn, so it basically made my stomach go haywire. Try one of those. They're okay. You could get them at pizza places here. They're not that different from, like, just a giant ravioli. Really kind of what they are is that they're kind of just giant raviolis. I cannot eat corn. I shouldn't eat corn. I have a corn intolerance. So, if you know anybody that has a gluten intolerance or a gluten allergy, I get the same symptoms if I have too much corn. I mean, I do get a fair amount of the symptoms from any corn, but it's usually very light. But it kind of, like, combines with fibromyalgia, which kind of, it makes things suck. I wasn't high enough. Still wasn't high enough. Still wasn't high enough. That should be high enough, yeah. But yeah, since like everything here has corn stuff in it, like I'm always suffering a little bit with just about everything that I eat. It has to do with the way that American politics have been with lobbying, because there was such an excess of corn. The politicians were like, we'll find ways to put corn in everything so that way you get more money. Just vote for us. Pretty much what happened. So, like, there's corn and things you wouldn't even expect. Like, you can find corn in mashed potatoes, you can find corn in pretty much every single canned good here. Almost every single baked good. Pizza. Or if he was trying to ban corn syrup, I doubt it. That makes the US too much money. I mean, it would be cool. I wouldn't vote for him because he's kind of dumb, but even in corn dogs, yeah. Can I eat fries? I should be able to, but McDonald's fries are cooked in corn. Which is kind of dumb. I could still eat them, but if I eat too much of them, I'll get a stomach ache, and it'll cause pain, which is really dumb. And yeah, even in corn dogs, my body also doesn't like ham or pork, and it's probably because they usually just feed pigs corn. It's really dumb. So I have to be careful with what I eat. But since, you know, I live in the US, I can't really do that. When I was in Japan, it was so much easier to fix things.
There, to the sea, I tell you. Our salvation floats upon the briny blue. We must reach Engine's battleship, and quickly before it sets sail. But how? Think, Cortex, think!
Oh, listen, here's the thing. American politicians are very incompetent. They're extremely incompetent, especially nowadays, which is one of the reasons why I don't like talking about it. About politics on stream. Because everybody's incompetent, nobody wins. There are things that are put into political discussion that should never have been put into political discussion, and it is poisoning the minds of everybody. Really stupid. Onigiri at 7-Eleven in Australia because Japan bought it out. I hope your guys' 7-Eleven is more Japanese oriented, because I loved 7-Eleven. That's my favorite convenience store. It is never a good idea to talk about politics on stream. It is always a horrible idea because you'll piss everybody off. People usually crash out exactly. like, maybe if your audience isn't, like, majority American or English speaking, because the thing is, like, with the current ways that we have been in the English-speaking world, we are highly politicized.
Coming through! Ladies?
It's, like, it's really dumb.
Mother?
Usually I like to talk about society. Any party will take the risk. No. Both parties say the same thing. If you... okay. I'm gonna say this. And I think I'll be done. America loved the high fructose corn syrup. We don't. Corporations do. But here's the thing. It's like everybody is divided in U.S. politics. I don't know how I failed that, but whatever. Everybody's divided, but here's the thing. Like, everybody says this. What's the worst part of the run? Probably this part.
I've never been so humiliated. No amount of treasure could ever begin to compensate.
Everybody says the same thing in different ways. If you think that any American politician wants your well-being, you're dumb. If you think that they're saying anything different, and they're just basically parroting what they think the people that follow them will want to hear. If you think that they're saying, like, actual, like, political opinions, instead of what they think the public wants to hear from them so that the way they would vote. If you think they're not doing that, you're dumb. And if you think that the other party should be tried for treason because they don't agree with whatever thing, which they probably do, but they're saying it in a way that makes it seem like they disagree with you, yeah. Like, American politics is a stupid trap. It's stupid. Basically, all sides of it, stupid. And when you talk about it, you piss everybody off. Because we're so politicized because we don't even understand how to listen to a fucking argument. Yeah. That's basically what it is. And everybody has to suffer because of some people. Like, it would be nice to be able to talk about world problems and stuff. But because the bad apples of this stuff, it's so bad that we can't talk about it. So I basically have come to the conclusion that no matter what's gonna happen, okay, bye. The thing that I hate the worst is that I'm directly being affected by incompetence to the point where I have to worry about trying to leave my own country for my own safety. Which isn't cool. For my own safety and well-being. I wouldn't consider that a political opinion. It's like, no, actually. Swear the game bugged out the other day. Oh yeah, you're right. But I mean, I do like talking about issues. That's a cool... yeah. That is used in the run. It can be a little, risky, though. I haven't had issues with it outside of the one time where engine soft locked. Which I don't actually even know how that happened, but it's fine. A decent run. Yeah, it was a decent run. I was losing time like everywhere, but it was pretty good for a good chunk of it. I think the early game was really good. Here we go. I'm surprised I got that. I'm not gonna lie. Nice. Cool. The only thing I need to check now is hug skip. Why am I all the way over here? What would have to happen? A literal overhaul. We would just need to get rid of all politicians and basically create fully new politicians. That's the only way. There's nothing else that could happen because the system's exploited, but the problem is there will be no uncorrupt politician. It's not possible because the people that would want to get into power are always going to be levels of corrupt. Because the ones that are not corrupt are not going to look for power. They're going to look for stability. It's just human nature. Systems rotten to the core, humans are rotten to the core. At least in this instance. The only way that anybody would basically get power over their government is basically do what the French do, which the government's actually scared shitless of their own people.
But we ran out of time.
Basically. Because the problem is that the people that want to go into it. Oh yeah, Europe is a lot less corrupt. I mean, it still has a lot of corruption, don't get me wrong. But at the very least, we could say one thing about Europe. The one thing we could say about Europe is there's no fascism in Europe because Europe is... the majority of Europe's kind of scared of fascism. And they try as hard as they can to prevent it from happening again. But Europe also fights back. The people fight back. If there's issues. Right now, I think, I think the UK government and the EU are being sued for, trying to control the internet. And they're screwing up a lot. Would that ever happen in the US? No. You want to try Greg's sausage roll? I've never been to Greg's. I haven't eaten today. Anlayılsın. Gonna test that is not good. I mean, yeah. Food where you could survive off vibes alone. I wish. Also, why do we keep talking about politics when I've been saying we don't want to talk about politics? Why are you using Google Translate? Also hate Toquinho. Need food, I'm hungry. Can't buy food, I gotta save money now. I've also been wondering about buying a new controller, see? Everyone's go-to Chinese order. I don't really like Chinese food all that much. At least American Chinese food. I mean, if I had to, probably just like spring rolls. Spring rolls and rice. Make sure they don't put onions in the rice. I don't even know if they sell curry here. I didn't really like curry until I went to Japan. And now I really love curry. mean, that's just basically everything, yeah. That some authentic stuff in Japan? Basically, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't call Japanese, like, Chinese food in Japan, like... Well, that's not Chinese, that's Indian, but still. I wouldn't call it authentic, but still better than what we get. Like, a lot of Japanese food is processed. They're an island nation. They can't exactly, like, produce a lot of their own food outside of rice and their fish. But, their food is still marginally healthier than what we get in the US. Only marginally. Like, the problem is that, say, like, if I were to eat the same way that I do here in the US that I would in Japan, I wouldn't lose weight. I would even gain weight. It's just that having to walk all that much and having some of the additives out basically works. The prostate dam, true. Nice, there we go. Full of MSG, yeah. You just leave it as a roll. Please, thank you. Okay, I got it. Walk off the edge, thank you. Okay. Am I going out of bounds and dying there? I set a splash. Teleport up. You're kidding that I went back out with that. That's dumb. You set up a splash teleport that allows you to go into hub 3. Because what happens is, even though you don't see it, I splash. And when I splash, it sets the coordinates for the splash teleport that I'll use in hub 2 to go immediately into hub 3. Every time you see a splash, the game is saving the coordinates for the last time that you splashed. Hello, you speak Spanish? Buenas, ¿qué tal? Yo también hablo español. No puede ser. Imagina. No. Birdie literally said, play Sonic Unleashed. No. ¿Y esos bugs? Sí. Existen en este juego, sí. Es un juego muy roto. Nope. Nice. Go. 2. Oh, I missed it. It's fine. Saves like a second and a half if you do it first try. Not really that worth. Are you kidding? Okay. Got the splash. There you can actually see the splash. Come on, let me jump. Twinsanity. Vale. Thank you. There we go. Alright, finally. Please don't give me ass lock. Thank you. Damn it. Ah, come on, camera. Nice. Sí, se llama hover skip, en que puedes saltar el jefe. ¿No has visto? ¿No viste ningún ningún speedrun de este juego? How do I stop myself from resetting over small mistakes, knowing that there's a lot more time to save in the rest of the run? I reset when I get annoyed at the amount of mistakes that I'm making. Like, if I'm making mistakes I don't usually make, it's not a good idea. Vale. Go. Bonk twice, you're done. Oh, no, 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 no. Oof. It gives you a little practice for late game. Exactly. Yo glass ballista. Yeah, it's like the thing of like, know that the less you make it into the rest of the game, the less you practice the rest of the game. Estos bugs, pues, son normales hoy en día. Tal vez hubiera visto speedruns en el pasado, pero hoy en día hay montones de bugs en que encontramos hace años y años, especialmente Cursor Splash, en que podemos saltar al Hub 3 para saltar el Embryo y Entropy en Hub 2. Okay. Yeah, it's not a weak mentality, it's more like not having that.
Keep back, you weak-minded fool. Avert your gaze or you'll go.
It's more so like having to shift your perspective of like, I mean, perfection doesn't happen, but also you have to understand trade-off. Because there's trade-off with time save. Like, if you lose a second or two, it's not that big of a deal unless it is a big deal. If it's a big deal in your game, then yeah, you should definitely, like, not lose it. But if you have time save elsewhere, or if you're never getting into the late game, you will lose more time in the late game than over silly mistakes in the early game. Then, upon your next run, if you have time save in the early game, you will be green, which will boost your morale. Then you just have to defend your pace throughout the rest of the run. That's actually how this run is, where like I have a bunch of in to play those. Nada mal, nada mal. You can always get better practicing things that are layered and seeing how much it can carry you back from those mistakes. Exactly, yeah. That's a good way to put it. I threw Cortex too early. I have never been a runner who has a good early game. The only category that I have good early game in is Crash Twinsanity any percent. My early game, ciao. My early game suffers greatly in basically any game that I have ran because I just am not good at the early game and I never try to be super good at it. And Twinsanity any percent? Yeah, but that's because I kind of have to be good at it. Like in this, in 100%, I don't have to be good at early game. Because it's a category that's most likely never going to be optimized enough to matter. It doesn't have as much RNG. Yeah. I don't like games with a bunch of RNG. Twinsanity used to be one of those games with a lot of RNG, but, well, a lot of that's been eliminated now. Yikes, okay. I'm gonna get some false time save here. That sucks. Oh. That wasn't a very good run anyways. Twinsanity is a game, nothing lost type of run basically, yeah. It's 2 minutes to RNG. That was one of the reasons why I didn't pick Halo 2 back up. Because the game is just RNG central. And sometimes even if you've been like labbing the game to death, you're still not going to like you're still not going to get a good run. You will just lose a minute to enemies just being in bad placements and there's nothing you can do. Twinsanity is one of those runs where, like, it's not RNG. Only just started. Well, that means you're a speedrunner. Like it or not. Only RNG was in the final boss. Twinsanity has some RNG elements to it, but not that much. I can't really think of any like real RNG here. You just like to watch old Crash games? True. The biggest RNG, and I'm not sure if it's RNG, are the little pipe things in Cavern. But outside of that, there's not much RNG. I'm trying to think if there's anything, but I don't think there's really anything. Because you skip... I mean, there's the ballroom ant placements, and then there's the ant placements in Ant Agony. 4 of them. By accident on the for the game, you thought might as well run it. You know, I actually started running a game as a result of that. That was how I got into speedrunning. Oh, hey. Oh no, my glasses just popped. Shit. If my lens falls out, then I'm gonna have to stop the run. Because my glasses are partially broke at the moment. I was gonna get them fixed yesterday, but I decided not to. I'll get them fixed on Monday. Okay. Okay. That's 4 seconds. Rather than needing to stop mid-run. True, but eh. See how it goes. Nothing a bit of duct tape can't fix. Yeah, I can't put duct tape because it would block my vision. Because where they're broke is at the thing. It's at the screw. The screw is what broke. I mean, the lens isn't falling out yet. Yo, Sloths, thanks for the good luck. Also, I have no idea what happened there. So my vision isn't obscured, it's just that, right now the, frame between like, the part that goes on your ear and the, like, actual frame of the glasses itself is popped out. Like, my lens is actually still in place, so it's not affecting anything. As long as I don't move. But if I touch it, the lens will pop out. But I mean, I'll just like go get them fixed. I could get them fixed for free. Wearing glasses with the headset hurts behind my ears. Used to. Not anymore. I am wearing a headset, and that's probably the reason why the why they popped out. But it hurts. It depends on like how much pressure your headset has. Well, like if it's super tight, then yeah, it's gonna hurt, and you'll have to get them loose. There we go. Hi. Go away from the legs. I'm kind of locked with the headsets that I use just because of the fact that they have a very specific sound setup. Since I have super sensitive ears, I have a specific type of surround sound which allows me to listen, you know, have my headset on and listen to stuff for like basically the whole day with no ear pain. Because basically any type of sound system that's not this will cause ear pain. And it also causes hearing loss and stuff. Which I really don't know why they stopped using this Dolby surround sound. Which I think this is just Dolby 7.1. Because they changed it to Dolby Atmos and that shit hurts like hell. It gives me headaches and makes me really cranky. And stereo also kind of makes me cranky. And it's just because I get constant headaches. Yep. That's why I have a very specific audio setup. And I mean a very specific audio setup. Okay, that's not gonna make it. Alright. Here we go. I don't really lose that much time. Just go off of the thing, thank you. There we go. I'm already losing a lot of time as is. And that's a reset. Alright. Let's get these popped back into place. Come on. Went back in. Okay. Really just, what's it called? Okay. Yeah, the thing that sucks about it is that these, that this headset in particular has, like, it has a tendency to, for the mic to just screw up because the software is like, oh yeah, so we're just gonna make this bad so you have to buy a new headset. Planned obsolescence. And there used to be a way to fix it in the software, but they patched it out. They patched out the fix. Which is crazy to think that they actually patched out a fix for it. Ones with a built-in mic are annoying. Yeah, but the thing is since I have to get up and move around a lot. So I need to have like a wireless headset that's like that has a built-in mic. Problem being that now I have to use my phone. What do you mean, what's that in? Patching fix. They fixed a bug that would fix the headset. So basically what happens is that after the thing boots up, the mic will get super quiet, which was something that was a bug in the software. And the fix was you would essentially just drag the mic volume in the program from 0, then back to 100, and then it'll work again. But they fixed that. As in, like, they patched out the fix. Because in modern, or in current patches, you can't do it. Well, you can't say that they unfixed it, because the thing is the fix was a bug in the software. As in, it wasn't supposed to do that in particular. You're kidding that I was touching the skunk. Ow. Ow. Don't bring up Charlie Kirk, dude. Yo, Keyblade Master, it's been a while. I don't know who that is. See You Again, Fast and Furious song. I haven't actually seen Fast and Furious. I am what you would call an uncultured swine. Because I didn't watch many movies because I didn't have friends to watch movies with. Nope, not even once. I kinda was very sheltered and I stayed with watching like animations, like cartoons and anime. If I heard it. But you watch movies? Damn. When we would get bullied for liking anime, yeah. That's very true. Why didn't you get the full jump? Come on, Crash. You're better than this. My jaw just twitched. That was weird. Camera was in a bad spot. I mean, I don't really talk about the fact that I like anime usually unless it's brought up. But I like, you know, considering I speak Japanese, it does make sense that I would like Japanese media. Even though, like, for most Japanese animes for kids. Okay, cool. There we go. Not bad. Okay. Come on, get in there. Anime linked to why I learned Japanese? It is the reason why I started. Yeah, the skip is pretty insane. Like, because I was watching anime, I started learning Japanese by accident. I'm like, you know what? Why not? You'd act out the cutscenes. I used to do that with Halo 2. The game really wants me to just not save time in Cavern today. Cavern really hates me. Hey, I got Brower strats at least. Death abuses are in this run. I never counted. Freaky like Crash or the victim like Cortex. What? No, get up! If I miss this. Oh. I mean, I would do, the voices. Okay, I think I still... Oh. Back and forward, back and forward. But I'm sick of it. Well, I'm not gonna do it no more. You have to get Wampa because there's too many death abuses. You actually don't have to get the Wampa. It's just that getting Wampa is about a half-second faster.
Fish? The check bounced. Are you sure? Well, these past few years have kind of been slow. Wrath of Cortex didn't do as well as we'd hoped, and... Fish?
Why is Crash this far away? I don't remember if I... Oh, wait, no. I don't have any... What the hell? I need to spin these guys. You're kidding. Crystal Crazy. Everybody recites Crystal Crazy. Yeah, the fact that lives matter in any percent at all. And that was just because of the fact that we introduced Cortex Cortex Antagony.
Coming through! Ladies? Excuse me, madam. Are those real? Mother? This is the Psychotron. Gateway to the infinite dimensions. Somewhere between the 9th and 11th dimensions lies the mysterious 10th dimension. And there we must go.
What was the part after the line?
And there we must go. To confront the evil twins, steal the riches, and restore the natural order of things. We require 6 crystals in order to make the leap, and we have 4. That isn't enough! All is lost! Unless...
Oh, yeah.
with me on top. Come along! You have to help me, Crash. You heard them. They want to destroy our island home, humiliate, enslave you, and steal my brain! How I envy the simple life of the tribesfolk. What have we got to do? Living in harmony with Mother Nature, the noble boar, the humble bumblebee. Ah!
Listening to this. No, go up.
Surprised to see me, Crash. Like the fleas in your fur, I keep coming back. 3 years I spent alone in the frozen Antarctic wastes. And I missed you. So I've organized a little gathering, like a birthday party, except the exact opposite. And oh look, all your friends are here. You are so very popular. Let's start handing out the presents.
Make all the audio by myself and see if anybody notices. I mean, I technically could. Tag team racing lines. I don't remember most of them. The only one that I can really think of is just, engine, but like having fun. And then Cortex just says,
Stop having fun!
this is very slow, by the way. If you just conveniently ask for tag team tutorial to listen to it. If you check the description of that, you will notice that it is a scam. Because I would do the stuff for free. I could learn the lines. I legitimately could. Vieni. 100 points worth wasting. Understandable. Yeah, I don't like the way tag team racing feels. But I could realistically learn basically most of the lines, and then I could probably do voice acting for almost the whole thing. I do a great Cortex impression. Yeah, even the developers of Twinsanity say I do a really good Cortex impression. And Crash to the Titans? Nope. Welp, I'm gonna be behind now. It's not gonna be faster to death abuse here. I was too slow. I'm gonna lose pretty much all of my time. The rats are leaving the sinking ship. Tell us where the treasure is and we'll let you go. Silent. Looks like we'll have to wring it out of him. Brio, get changed.
Oh, I almost forgot. The treasure.
Ah, treasure.
Yes, we are rich.
That treasure is stolen property.
It's a bit late to develop a conscience, Doctor.
Personally, I don't care, but I think he might want his gems back.
Well, a power crystal.
Well. A power crystal.
Maybe Crash is just pretending to be a dumb cunt. He's definitely not pretending. Yep.
Yes! The crystal is mine! Ah! Keep back, you weak-minded fool! Avert your gaze or you'll go crystal crazy!
My fucking glasses snapped again. New York accent.
Hey, yeah, you. I've been doing this for 10 stinking years. Back and forward, and I'm sick of it. Well, I'm not gonna do it no more.
There we go. Are we doing stock intake? The floating boxes in the entropy fight are just for the checkpoint. So if you die, you don't instantly die. It's just that it's a jump you can make. Every time you slide jump, the game kind of like stores the stores like a weird state where you're capable of. Why did you do that? Why didn't you let me jump? The game stores a state where when you walk off of a ledge, you're able to jump with the speed of a slide jump. You could tell I'm doing a long jump if Crash doesn't turn when I'm moving sideways. Most accurate Twinsanity description? Yeah. It's a weird bug. But it essentially stores the values and allows you to jump with the speed of a slide jump. So you need to slide immediately, not immediately before. As long as you don't jump in between, you are able to do a long jump. Because the state is gone after you jump. Did you get the jump? The gem? Yes, I did. The game has a little graphic that it does that showed for a couple of frames. Now, if I went back, it would still be there. You're blind? Well, it only happened for a couple of frames. It's hard to spot. I'm gonna try to fix my glasses, while I, restart. There we go. Here we go. It's not uncollectible. It just doesn't do anything. You're kidding. It's not uncollectible, it's just that the game already has it counted as collected. So if you grab it again, it does nothing. It just deletes the gem. It takes a little bit for the script to work properly. So, since you die before the actual gem is gone, but after it is placed in inventory, it's the same system that, the game uses for crystals. So, like, if you go and try to recollect a crystal, it doesn't give you any extra crystals. So the same thing is that if it corresponds to the same gem, like there is an extra gem in Rooftop, and it doesn't really do anything. There's also a glitch you could do on Xbox that changes your level, and if you collect gems there, it will collect the gem in the other level. But then you're basically soft locked out of 100% unless you bring the glitch to collect the gem the other way around. But yeah, it's just basically if it corresponds to a certain gem, it will not count as recollected, which is kind of cool because that means that we can't do gen dupe, because that was one of my biggest worries after I found out that that happened, was I needed to check to see if it duped gems, and it does not. Because if it duped gems or pushed the percentage, then we would have to like redefine what the hell 100% is, which would suck. Because then there would just be a category where all we do is just collect that gem until we reach 100%. So luckily that's not a thing. And it's one of 2 gems that I have known, or that we know of, that can be collected like that. The second one that can be collected like that is it's the blue gem in Ice Climb. See, the thing is you would have to define what 100% is. So, like, for example, if it still gave you the 100%, if it still gave you the 100%, like, collectible, or the 100% thing, then boom. Like, it would be 100%, and then you would have 100% no gem dupe. Where that would essentially mean that 100% is not defined as reaching the credits, but rather unlocking the 100% film. Which, that distinction is probably going to come in handy later. If we find a means to get the percentage for beating the final boss without actually beating it. Because then we would have to distinguish 2 categories. And the reason why is because the fastest way to complete the game and reach the credits is Early Hub 3, but in that instance, the fastest way to unlock the 100% reward would be Early Hub 4. And you would not fight any bosses. I've been thinking of this stuff for a while now. It would finally be the reason for separating 100% categories. Will it actually happen? I don't know. Someone would have to find a way to skip the credits while getting the whatever. How to trigger out of bounds, it does not. Yeah, the way that it works is through beating the final boss. It's a script, and then the credits is basically it's a loading screen that just transitions you to Iceberg Lab. That is more or less what the credits are, is just glorified loading screen, which is why it crashes when you do Cursed Splash. It's the reason why we actually reset the game after Cursed Splash. At least in early Hub 4. But you need to get rid of the cursed state anyways, because if you don't get rid of the cursed state, you can't do... Have a no method to skip cutscenes? Nope. Cutscene skips were... Only FMV cutscene skips were implemented. From what I remember, they actually did have them... No, that was Spyro Hero's Tale. Spyro Hero's Tale had cutscene skips programmed. Stop. I'm dead. I think that functions as the cutscene. The game is actually fairly functional, believe it or not. A lot more functional than most people think. But the problem is that like when you actually start to do glitches, the game just goes crazy. But the game is actually very functional. A lot of glitches you probably won't even encounter in standard gameplay. Like, a lot of the stuff that I'm doing, you probably wouldn't encounter, or you wouldn't even notice that they're not a part of the game itself. Like, double deaths, for example, which can happen. Double deaths you wouldn't really notice, because your lives are not going to be that important. The only thing you're really going to notice is slide glitch, and that's... Slide glitch and, super slides. Those are the only two glitches that you're really going to encounter. Oh, hi, Mimo. Thanks for the raid. Yeah, I knew about double deaths. People who are observant will notice. Yo, Piri. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Hi, Mimo. Crashes in the cutscene state there, that you interrupt the cutscene state by spin throwing Cortex. And then you jump into the ceiling, and then it ends while Crash is in the ceiling. Since Crash's head doesn't have collision in the cutscene state, but he does when he exits it. Boom. That's pretty much it. I hope both of you are doing well today. Yeah, I got it. Okay. Yeah, the whole thing about how am I doing? I'm doing okay. I've had a lot of IRL updates. Very good chance I get into the master's program. and might have my career actually set out for me. So the reason why you haven't seen that strat in particular is because it's not faster except for the cursed splash routes for 100%. It's not faster for standard route. It's actually slower. But it's faster in these routes because you can get to the you could get to the farm more quickly. Oh, I almost failed that. Okay. I hope your stream went well too. There we go. My B button's kind of messed up. There we go. No, 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 no! Come on! Why are you stuck? Fuck you. If the camera's stuck, Crash doesn't do that. It went well, crashed 3 times, damn. Saved it from ending stream all the time. Nice. Man. If the camera gets stuck, the death animation doesn't end. So I was soft locked there. It's something I've been trying to prevent. But I still haven't fully labbed out that part of Cursed Splash for early Hub 3. Since you splash in a different spot. But if I do it in the main place, the camera gets locked for like 5 seconds. And it loses time. So I may start doing that again because I think I would have rather be getting that than... Why are you asking me these weird questions? You ask me these weird questions all the time. It kind of makes me uncomfortable, I'm not gonna lie. Gonna get dinner ready. Enjoy your food. And enjoy cooking the food. Okay, still made it. Nice. Made my elbow dryness out of 100 out of 10. Your mom. Just wanted to know. That's not a sorry. You don't ask people that question. Because 1, they don't know, and 2, that's kind of creepy. Need a spray bottle? True. So that is your warning number 1. So I ask you to start being careful with what questions you ask. If you reach 3, I will ban you. I have asked you numerous times to not ask questions like that. Whoa, that lag was weird. I did not load it. Yep. I really do hope that I don't have to actually put in my stream rules, do not ask creepy questions. Or things like that. because I would like to think that it is obvious. But if I have to put that in the rules because somebody is doing so, I will. And I don't pick favorites just because of XYZ. I try to be as fair as I possibly can for everybody. And I try to treat everybody the same. Oops, I hit continue without saving. What was the question? The distance between my mouth and my nose or something like that. No, otherwise known as the philtrum. How do you know this? Is this just like some kind of common knowledge I don't do because I don't care about my outward appearance? Contouring is big amongst the girls. Yeah, that would make sense. Order philtrum equals better. Oh, okay. Maybe I'll remember this. I think there is no better portrayal of the fact that I am a wizard than this. Or pay for surgery. See, like, I don't know how it works with, you know, non-straight, dynamics. But from what I know, a lot of guys think plastic surgery is ugly. Like, really ugly. So it makes me sad to hear that plastic surgery is, like, such a thing that a lot of women are, like, addicted to trying to have. Because of beauty standards that, like, they don't realize that, at least for like heterosexual dynamics, most men would find it really, ugly. What kind of question is that? The world has become a very judgmental place. This is what the first meaning of kindness is anymore. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, right? if I find somebody and, you know, I like her personality, but she has plastic surgery, that's not going to be a deal breaker. But I am going to say that, like, from an attractive standpoint, plastic surgery is not attractive. Like about black pill stuff. I don't know what that is. The big Italian honker. And now I don't have a mask. Now listen, as long as it's not as big as Rayman's snout, I think you're doing well for yourself.
How's it hanging, wiener dog? Ah, don't be so touchy.
Thanks, Big Nose. Look what I swiped from the hoodlums. Listen, if you got chopped off at a young age, listen, if you got like if you got the Rayman, it's where all the looks maxers from. Looks maxers are fucking idiots. Why would you want to destroy your fucking body just to look good for, like, a demographic that doesn't want you? Like, the real problem with attraction is that most likely, if you're not being accepted by the person, you would never have had a chance anyways. Like, it doesn't matter, even if you, like, made yourself taller, you still would not have been chosen anyways. That's just how that works. Like, the excuse is the attraction, and most likely what would have happened afterwards if you had that is that, yeah, no. You would just get rejected anyways. Because if somebody is only looking for the artificial qualities, and you're looking to have that artificial qualities, then, it's not gonna work out. You are a black pill? Probably not. Because looks maxing is like dudes who like have surgery to become taller, or basically like dick enhancement surgery, which like have no real benefit. There's nothing but drawbacks because you're trying to appeal to a crowd that's not gonna accept you in the first place and probably only wants to have one night stands with you. Essentially. Very different from just trying to make yourself look nicer. Like, hearing about you, you know... what do they call it, a nose job? It doesn't really sound like it'd be that bad, to be honest. I can't really think of any issues with it, other than maybe it looks wrong, but... But looks maxing is basically like... Nothing else matters. All that is BS. That's not... Can't confirm that's true. it's a societal standard, not actually what people want. Like I said, it's the superficial part of traction that is basically just perpetuated by society rather than what the people actually want. But they're so confused because they've been told that this is what they need that it goes rampant. It's a weird, dumb thing. Yeah, exactly. Like, most women just want somebody who's funny and nice to hang out with, is really what it is. But when faced with society telling them this is what you want, this is what you want, this is what you want, which is the same thing with a lot of guys too, is you will artificially look for that when that's not what you want, which basically screws up dating culture. It's one of the biggest issues with dating culture. And it affects both sides of it. It's really toxic on all fronts. Like, I've read a couple of things up about it, which is really sad. Using dating apps, yeah, dating apps is one of the things. Do I agree? I'm not telling you that. I'm not telling you my opinion. I have already told you I do not want to tell you my opinions. I don't like how you ask questions. Using dating apps kind of makes it worse. Because, like, classically how dating would be like... Classically how dating would be like, usually it would just be people liking each other. But when it's only focusing on something that's superficial, generally all it is sex. Pretty much what it is. Well, you could say that as much as you want. I mean, you do realize that that's not... Like, I don't want to be mean about it, but at the same time, it's like, you do realize that constantly and consistently asking questions that are psychoanalyzing and also personal makes somebody very uncomfortable. It's not the fact that you can say sorry as many times as you want, or like, I didn't mean this. You have to realize that people have boundaries, and the more that you push those boundaries, the more people are not gonna want you to be around. Which is why I've been kind of saying, instead of giving you warnings, I don't want to be asked these kinds of questions. If they were one-off, it'd be fine. But you have to bear in mind that when you see patterns like this, it's kind of invasive. Invasion of privacy is not a good thing, especially for a streamer. That's how parasocialism starts. And like I said, I'm not saying this to be mean to you. It's just that it could have been anybody. But I also need to make it very clear, as somebody who is a streamer on the internet, I need to hit that boundary, because if I don't, and I allow people to ask me all these personal questions, then either I get an invasion of privacy, and then other people think that I care about them in a way that I don't. It's not saying that I don't care about the people that watch me, but at the same time, if it gets misconstrued, parasocialism starts. Being parasocial means that you think that a person is invested in your personal life. And that's not good. And also the opposite is not good. Like, that is the explanation. It's not an explanation that I would really like to say, but that is the explanation. So that's the thing of, like, just understand and think about what you're typing before you type it. This goes for everybody. I mean, it also kind of helps that I have been friends with VTubers, who, of course, like, the majority of them are women on the internet. So I kind of get, and I've tried to study a little more into how these dynamics work, because to me, I don't care as much. I have a tendency to, like, just, you know, just treat people the same, regardless. That's just how I am. So I've had to kind of, like, understand some of the dynamics and whatnot myself. I mean, I'm not really part of, like, a target demographic of that, because I honestly don't like parasocial things. I also don't like what's it called, like, I don't like I'm not very affected by those things of, like, oh, hey, girl on the internet, cute girl on the internet, let me give money and fawn over her because I have male instinct. By the way, that's actually how idol culture works. By the way, that's kind of how that works. It's kind of scary when you think about it. The English VTubing is not exactly like that. They're more just like streamers, and usually most people aren't parasocial, and they just support them. As far as I know, except for the lewd tubers. The lewd tubers different. A lot of the big women streamers, though, yeah, that is a lot more preying on sex drive, sex appeal, and other things. It sucks. Well, who doesn't like to watch an attractive person? Like, if you see somebody that is very pleasing to your eyes, of course you're gonna watch that. Yes. You know, there's not, there's nothing wrong with that. The issue is when it comes about, wanting to think, or, like, allowing your own, or at least, I don't know how things work outside of, like, from guys. Or rather, I don't even know if I could say males, because the thing is I don't understand how HRT affects males when they go transgender and vice versa. I don't understand. I'm not sure what the correct way to word it is, but basically, somebody like me, who is a heterosexual male, and maybe also others, is like, the instinct is to try to protect and provide. It's just an instinct. And if you let that go out of control, you will try to subconsciously, that's usually not a conscious thing, you will try to give them money in order to, you know, basically get in their pants. Whether you're aware of that happening or not is beside the point. But usually that is essentially like what it is. It's preying on that instinct. Girls do it with male K-pop groups. Yeah. It's just I don't know if the dynamic is different because obviously like I don't understand the perspective. Because like one, I have been hopelessly single since I was born. And two, I haven't had too many female friends because I've been socially awkward. Damn it, my glasses did the thing again. But yeah, I have noticed that girls do it with male K-pop groups. So I don't know where the line is. Maybe it is just a thing on both. And maybe I've just only seen it from like the from the female VTuber to male viewer perspective. I don't know. It's interesting to talk about, but it's also kind of scary. Girl groups because they're pretty. Yeah, see, that's also an interesting thing. Because, like, both sides like, well, both men and women like pretty. It's just that, the reasons are different. It's just like every time I see a shiny object, I'm like, ooh, shiny. Or if I see a big-ass forehead, I'm like, ooh, shiny. Oh no, my eyes! Ah, I'm blind! You can play tic-tac-toe on it! I can park my car on it! Also, I guess now is a good time to say I don't study psychology. I think, like, probably the thing that I would say, like, would be my particular, studies of interest are sociolinguistics, phonetics, and linguistic acquisition would be my basic fields of study. And also, it will also be foreign language education. That is the that's the goal for my master's program, is basically do teaching English as a second language, but the goal is to be able to transform it into a means to teach not just English, but Japanese and Spanish. So, to some degree, since, like, I pay attention to sociolinguistics, culture has the cultural issues, societal issues, at least from, like, a linguistic perspective, I pay attention to. And some behavioral trends. But most of it is just observations. It's not really anything. I don't consider myself an expert in things. Is it a form of philanthropy? What exactly is philanthropy? I don't know what philanthropy is. Like, I've obviously heard the term, I've just never really looked up to see what the hell it was. Damn it. It's always by a couple of frames. Son of a... I mean, depending, it could really be a form of philanthropy, I'm not sure. But yeah, I have been told, so I skipped one of my classes, basically. I skipped one of my science classes, which is unfortunate because I love that class, but it was on Tuesday. On Tuesday, I skipped my class, and, I went to go with my friend, and he invited me to his class, which was on child language acquisition. Which, mind you, is like a semester final course for teaching English as a second language, the undergrad version of it. And I was fully following along with all of the content, despite the fact I've never taken any class like it before, including knowing a lot of the concepts. I was even asked a question, which I answered correctly using the correct vocabulary terms when I was asked of it, which is, how do you form passive voice? And then the teacher had me participate in an activity, a group activity that was based on the material that was presented. Obviously, I don't have a textbook. I haven't really had any studying, and I was just able to follow the material, and I even participated in the activity itself. And I looked at it and I just said, this is not that difficult to do. And so the teacher was like, hey, you know, what are you studying? I study the Spanish language. And then she was like, yeah, you should try to get your certificate in this program. And I said, well, this is my last semester. She said, oh. I had to Google it because you couldn't explain it. Yeah, that's sociolinguistics. And I said I was interested in doing the master's program version of it. She's like, oh, well, you would be a prime candidate. I never met this woman before. And she said, you would be a prime candidate for this program. And I'm just like, that's some pretty high praise coming from somebody who is like teaching undergrad students and having grad students and stuff. She said I was a prime candidate for the master's program. She gave me the name of the coordinator because I needed the name of the coordinator for the program. I sent him an email, and then she gave me some advice. The coordinator said he gave me some information, which I was happy about. And he said, oh, you can meet me on 3 p.m. on Monday. So I'll be talking to him. But also, on top of that, one of the Japanese exchange students that we have is an administrator for Tokyo University. Which, of course, like, now he knows, like, what my actual goal is. I told him before I, like, realized... Because he told me he was an administrator for Tokyo University, but I forgot. And then I let him know my goal at the end is to be able to teach all these languages. And then he joked and said, like, oh, well, you should come work at Tokyo University. And then I said, maybe. But then I got to thinking, like, wait a second. Hang on. I might be making connections here without realizing it. So basically, I do the master's program to be able to like do the things that I want to do and make sure I stay in contact with this guy and be friends with him, because I mean, I'm not gonna like treat him any differently just because I could, you know, get something good out of him. But it's like, I think about it, it's like, whoa, hang on a second, like this is kind of huge that I might be cementing my life, which is crazy because just about a month ago I was scared and stressed that like I don't know what I'm gonna do with my life, because like I spent all of my university studying only Spanish and Japanese. Nothing that I really wanted to do. It didn't work on translation, didn't work on interpretation really, which are skills I can develop. By the way, interpretation and translation are two totally different fields. But that's beside the point. I worked not to get all that stuff, is like, and then all of a sudden in this past month I have realized that I wanted to try to do a master's degree in these in teaching English, because it's like I've wanted to, but I suppressed it because it's like, well, interpretation is where all the money's at. Translation's where all the money's at. Why would you want to be a teacher when you could be an interpreter and travel the world? And it's like, my excuse for that has always been, oh, well, I'll just be a teacher when I can't travel anymore. You know, when I'm 50, 60 years old. And then I would teach language. But something inside of me was always like, that's not what I want to do. Something inside of me has been, I want to teach people. I want to teach people this passion that I have. I want to be able to teach people, like, you know, the stuff that I wasn't taught about language. And then teach people to fall in love with language just like I did. And offer my skills, because I know I'm above average in learning language. I'm above average in explaining linguistic concepts. Would the teaching be university level for sure? Because in the university level, it would be, like, somewhat required, but not always. But basically, teach the person not necessarily to not look at language as a tool, but more as like something to have a passion for, something to realize that you can actually connect with it, because language is about connection. It's about how we interact with each other. It affects our way of thinking. It affects our social dynamics. It affects our culture. It affects basically almost every facet of our lives. And I want to teach people that, basically. To be the same kind of spark that I was given to by the ones who gave me the spark, basically. I think that's the best way to describe it. It sounds cheesy, and it is cheesy, and I understand it's cheesy. Did I just pull a Donald Trump by doing that? Probably. Anyways, but no, that's just kind of how I think. And then I kind of look at this like, yeah, this is kind of huge that things are now, like, going into place, and it's like, now I don't need to be lucky. There's no more luck involved. I just need to not screw up. Because I have the connection that might make it worthwhile, that I could actually get into and out into a different university in a different country. We'll probably appreciate having a teacher who's actually passionate about it. Depends. But I have all the connections. The only thing I need to check to make sure about is the work study. So that way I can to know if I can be offered the funding to be able to enter the program. Because the idea is to work while doing the master's program so I don't have to pay anything. Of course, I have the physical limitations, so, I'd have to, like, make sure, like, hey, you know, I can't just be offered a random job because I have, like, physical issues. I need to be given something that I can actually do, otherwise it would just be a failure. So that's my next step. I mean, I'm gonna go to the meeting and I'm gonna learn more about it. And then I'm going to have to call financial aid and try to see, like, what my options are. Because if I can get a job that I can actually do while studying at the same time and it pays for the whole program, that's it. But the problem is, and it's kind of a sad thing, is that when that means that when it starts, which would be after December, I have no clue how my availability is going to be, which means I probably won't be able to stream. I might be too busy between working and doing the master's degree. I might not get any availability for streaming. So essentially what I have right now is just these weekends, and then that'll probably be it. I'll dedicate everything else to that. Oh yeah, it's worth it for sure. I'll make posts about it and everything. Make sure people don't know that I'm dead or something. Or people know that I'm not dead. Because people are going to be like, wait, where's G-Pro? He just hasn't done Twinsanity in a long time. I hope he's okay. And it's like, oh yeah, boy's okay. He's just living his life. I think it's a 2-year program, and I'll also see what I would need to be certified as a teacher in Japan, and then I'll find study materials so that way I can also do the same thing for teaching Japanese and Spanish, and then just slap it on a resume, get an interview, get like whatever I need, and then boom. Within the next 3 years, I'll actually be fully employed, hopefully, as a language teacher, which is my dream job. I mean, my other dream job, which I didn't really want to have come true, was just be a full-time streamer. But I mean, I've known for a long time that this would never be like a job I could actually do full-time. It would be the best thing considering I'm physically disabled, but because of fibromyalgia and my bad foot, which I'm gonna see if I see a doctor to see if we could do something about it, because the foot is probably more so to do with the fact that the nerve is dead, and maybe they could find something to revive it, hopefully. Probably not. It's been 13 years. But who knows? I will definitely be a happy person. I mean, I'm moderately happy, but I will definitely be a happy person doing what I love to do. Used to treat nerve issues sometimes. Well, the problem is that I'm not sure where in the process I messed up, Yo, Ellie, it's been a while. It may have been during physical therapy because like I had surgery on my bone, which obviously they had to like kill the nerve, and then if anybody knows about having those types of surgeries, you need to stimulate the nerve using like tactile stuff to create like static electricity, which I may have messed that up. I'm not sure if that was the reason, but the thing is the nerve never fully woke back up. So, I can only feel about 70% of my foot, and I know that some of the muscles just do not work as a result. I have all the strength in those muscles to be able to walk normally, but I can't. And the only thing that happens when the nerve wakes up is pain. So, I'm not sure if, it's just because the nerve has been put to sleep, or if it's dead, or if some of my nerves have been dead or damaged beyond repair. And I haven't been able to get to a doctor. Imagine the effects from a big surgery like that. Yeah. Also, I know it didn't heal fully properly because, well, what I learned about the surgery was that the recovery was, I think, 3 or 4 months, and I did it between my, between school years. So I actually did not get the, proper healing, plus not knowing I had fibromyalgia, which fibromyalgia makes recovery time longer. Which I didn't know in hindsight at the time. The doctor even said, like, you know, you might be okay now, but you probably won't be able to walk in your 40s. And I think what he meant by that was that I wouldn't recover unless I waited for another year. But I couldn't bear with it, because it was just causing me nothing but pain. But yeah, most of it is just, it's just pain, and I don't walk very well. It's not like, like, I can still carry heavy stuff. But there are certain, like, things that make it difficult to walk, and usually if the foot's kind of aggravated, it sucks. It also swells. It also swells, which kind of sucks. Also, of course, I'm not saying this as a means of, like, you know, saying, like, oh, look at G-Pro, you just... Is this a situation where if you walk a lot more, you'll be out of action for a while? Sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. It did happen when I was in Japan, a couple times. I mean, I was walking like 3-4 kilometers a day, 5 days a week. And then sometimes on weekends I would also be walking a lot. By the end of it, I was actually adjusted to it. But it's like, it kind of sucks. But luckily, that's it, is that it just kind of sucks. It's not like a serious... It's not like a serious... like, it doesn't have a serious impact on my life. From fibromyalgia, and it was pretty hard for them to deal with mentally. Yeah, so... I think because of the temperament of my the temperament of my parents that I have had to develop things. Yo, Koji, thanks for the good luck. I think it's like with fibromyalgia and how it kind of works is that like you have to really keep your emotions in check. And because of my upbringing with my parents, how my parents are, I believe I've just kind of developed the ability to keep my emotions very level. Especially over time, I've kind of tried to teach myself how to deal with everything. So it sucks, but it's not like, you know, debilitating. Yeah. The lack of understanding from most people does make it difficult. This is very true. Because, like, when you have fibromyalgia, for example, a simple touch causes pain. But the thing is from our perspective, we don't understand what it's like to not feel slight twinges of pain when somebody touches you. It is nearly impossible to comprehend, like, on both sides. Because, I mean, imagine somebody saying that just, like, my literal tactile experience, like, touch does not work the same way. It's the same thing of, like, saying, like, well, you know, somebody having autism, trying to explain it to somebody who doesn't have it. When you don't get better, people just kind of give up and stop checking in. Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. Usually for me, I'm lucky in the sense that most of my problems are tied to food. So if I eat the wrong thing, then yes, I'm going to be out of commission. But generally, unless it's like a huge buildup, like say I did have a bad buildup when I worked at a truck company. Buenos astronomy, ¿qué tal? There was a buildup of like several months where I knew that because I was doing so much physical stuff, I would eventually like be bedridden, and it happened. And I was almost about to get fired, so I switched jobs. But luckily, I'm also fairly durable as well. Just kind of as an example, despite this, yesterday my foot kind of got smashed. Sort of. I mean, not exactly smashed, but kind of smashed while we were doing moving stuff. Basically, I had like 30 pounds or like 11 kilos of, no, it's 13 kilos of wooden shelves rolled onto my good foot, and I'm able to walk. My foot's a little swollen, but, and I have bruise, but like I'm pretty durable. So it takes a lot. Oh, damn it. My fucking glasses just did the thing again. So I'm kind of lucky that the whole bedridden thing only really happens when I have bad food. I recover fast enough to where, usually I don't become bedridden from physical activity unless it's very extensive and over a very long period of time. And I've only ever had the actual, like, I've had too much and I've collapsed, like, twice. So, one of them was while working at the truck shop. And the other one was actually while we were moving when I was 19. I've been pretty good about it. I've been pretty good about it. Luckily. And also, just saying, like, I'm not saying this to gather sympathy or anything. This is just, like... It's just the reality of, it's just the real stuff. It's not... Like, I mean, yeah, it's kind of a big deal, but everybody got problems. Now, if I weren't able to focus on a career, this would be very bad. But working, as a teacher, it's manageable. Like, I think what was it, 2 years ago or something, I was trying to, like, ask people for money, basically, trying to make sure that I could have enough money for, all my bills. Is it only corn that's a problem? I think I have some issues with gluten. But it's the majority of it's corn. You just collect the yellow gem and respond immediately? Yes. What do you mean I didn't do it correctly? Let me fix my glasses. Welcome back, Ali. Other runs, not very good. I can't get past Cursed Splash. Why did you snap off immediately? Damn it. Quick streamer can't see. Post, here it comes. I actually can't read my chat at the moment. Come on, glasses. Yeah, I'm gonna go get them fixed on Monday. It's free. I could get them fixed for free. But come on. This is a pain in the ass. You just left your job. Your master's degree? Nice. Oh, nice. I hope your money situation's good. What are you studying for your master's degree? Come on, man. In this stream, I hope so. There we go. There we go, now I can read. Computer engineering robotics. Of course, linking with AI. Basically, all tech, all computer science degrees are now just AI, linking with AI. You can't stop it, because AI is where the money's at. And if you don't, you're either not going to get a job or will lose your job over somebody that is working with AI. Okay. That was weird. It sucks. But, that's the world we live in. I hope that your master's degree goes well. Come on. I am always gonna say that education, as long as the education also helps towards your career that you're looking for, I'm always gonna say you should go for it. Passed the prep exam? Nice. Did you get it for free? I hope so. That's good shit. If I'm lucky, I'll be able to work. Oh, 4K. Wait, is that 4? Well, you're in Middle East, so 4K is probably still a lot of money. But is that for the whole program? Or just for a semester? I think my master's program's like $20,000. 30,000, I think. Which is why I'm trying to see if I can get, which is why I'm trying to see if I can do work study. Because if I could do work study, I won't have to pay a dime. I don't want to have to pay for that. Yeah, university in the US is expensive, and it should be as expensive as it is. So yeah, I'm gonna try to work towards, there's a 50% discount. Man. People wonder why we Americans are uneducated. Yeah, 4K is quite cheap for a master's program. Like I said here, master's program is like $20,000. Finland, they give you, yeah. In Scandinavia, you get paid to do that. Top 10 get in for free. Nice. You were 12th? Oh, so basically you might be able to get it for free because you almost got 10th? I believe I would be the second person in my entire family to get higher than or go to graduate school, because I don't remember any of my cousins or any of my family doing graduate school except for one. There should be extra seats sometimes. Well, let's hope so. That is very good news. Yeah, right now, the steps that I'm at for my master's degree are I need a goal statement, which, I have an idea for that. You're still 23? Yeah. Listen, it's better late than never. Let me see here. So what I need is I need a goal statement, which a goal statement is just basically a 2-page paper saying what you're gonna do with it, what your goals are, your expected like outcomes and everything for the master's program that you're attending. I need 1 extra letter of recommendation. I have 2 lined up. I just haven't asked for letters of recommendation yet. But I know 2 of my professors absolutely will. And then I need to check to see, I need to check to see if I can work while studying. And then the next thing that I need after that is I need to bring my grades up just a little bit, because my grade point average isn't good enough. But I can actually I can make it good enough by the end of this semester. And then I can just enter the program. That's where I'm at right now. I have the connections. I have, like, I just need a little more information. And, then I'll actually sign up. I'll get everything squared away. And then I just need to ask for a letter of recommendation. I just don't know who the 3rd professor is going to be, because I need 3. Open up 1 month ago. It's not even teachers? Damn. Imagine going to a just open up university. That's crazy. Professors from outside the country. Ooh. Does sound kind of fancy. There you go. No, 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 no! Fuck! That sucks. That's not too different from what happened in my PB. That's why I lost a lot of time there. Oh, the department just opened up. You're kidding that I messed up Tiki Mon Skip. Oh, there goes all my time. Come on. Come on. Come on. Yeah, I'm gonna be about +10 or whatever. Eh, it might be +15. Okay, maybe not that bad. I did lose a lot of time. Also, I actually wasn't even going to finish uni. In fact, what I was going to do was I was going to only use uni as a means to become more fluent in Spanish and Japanese. And then I was going to drop out right before I'd graduate. That was my initial plan. And then, somebody who I am no longer friends with kind of convinced me that maybe I should, because then I started, like, kind of making a connection, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I should finish and, like, graduate alongside people that I care about. And, then I was like, I don't know if, my path is, that I'm going the right path. Now I know for sure. Now, in a separate world, I would have probably just dropped everything and just tried to be a streamer. Which I'm sure I could have probably accomplished eventually. Basically, just go the shift route and then speedrun any percent. Just do twins any percent until I pull my hair out. But nah. All we can do right now is just enjoy the fact that Twinsanity is having speed runs right now. That's basically what I'm looking at right now. Is I have finished my major project, which was sub 10, or rather get a satisfactory run of any percent. So if I stop here, and it's the reason why I'm not working super hard on 100%. If I were to stop here, I wouldn't feel bad. I still want to try to work towards a sub 1 hour 100%. But if it were to come to pass and say, like, okay, you can't stream anymore, you will not have any more time, I'd be like, oh, well, I've basically done everything that I really wanted to do. I'm mostly doing 100% just to see where I can go. Why not both? Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you can learn both, and you can be both. There's no point in, like, saying, oh, well, I'm just gonna give up one thing, when you could do both at the same time. Like, I'm also having my voice acting, like, I'm putting a voice acting egg in a basket, too. I have some plans with that, and that might give me connections for that too. Obviously, voice acting is not gonna be voice acting is not gonna be my first choice for career. I would love to do it, but that's probably not gonna happen. Streaming is the backup among backups. Salary's kind of ass. Yes, voice acting salaries are very bad unless you are a very well-established voice actor. And the voice actors guild just, like, collapsed upon itself recently. And a lot of it has to do with the Genshin Impact voice actors who were way more greedy than they should have been. It basically, they caused a nuke in the unionification of voice acting. They basically caused the entire thing to get nuked because they were greedy. College is very time consuming, yes. So that's like a backup among backups. I'm making sure that people at least know. Yes, a very glitchy game. I want to make sure that it's at least known I have the capability to do voice acting. I do have a voice reel. I've been participating, you know, trying out for things here and there. What did the Genshin Impact VAs do? Okay, so sitting on the toilet, hating on streamers and gamers while crying a river. Yeah, okay, so here's what the Genshin Impact VAs did. Their plan was to try to get more money and more prioritization, like a very specific part, like a very specific team of voice actors, which were the ones that did Genshin Impact. They were trying to get priority in, they were trying to get priority, higher wages, and a couple of other things, but out of the demand of trying to say, like, what we want is we want to make sure that nobody uses AI to cover our voice work, which, if anybody knows anything about, the Hoyoverse company, they're actually against using AI in the voice acting. So basically, it was a nothing burger. That what they were trying to do was essentially like cause like them to have priority. Their specific guild, to have priority and also have higher wages. So essentially, if you were not a part of this team and you were doing any of the Hoyo games or probably other dubbing, they would get higher wages and priority over it, which is what they were fighting for. Essentially, what this did is it created a huge rift in the union and caused it to disband as a result of them meddling with the politics. All because they were being greedy. And here's the thing, and I'm gonna say this very straight out: voice actors do need to be paid more. But you are not entitled to getting better payment because you feel like you're doing a better job than other people. And you also don't have a right to make it worse for other voice actors just because you want to make more money. Because what this does is say, like, I wanted to go into voice acting, right? I would not get that priority. I wouldn't get that lucrative money, and I would be stuck with the low-level background characters, which means that if I get paid hourly, I get shit pay because I only get 2 or 3 lines. That's an hour of work. Whereas somebody who basically like forced the politics in court to get them to have priority in their contracts based on their unions, like essentially it's pretty much a similar situation of them forcing themselves to be in the same realm as like Tom Kenny and Jennifer Hale, because they get paid a lot, but that's because they're legends. They're like veterans in the industry. They get paid a lot because, well, yeah. There's also another thing which is really dumb in the voice acting industry, and that's that they have kind of abandoned creative voicing for realistic voice acting. And what this means is that while voice acting is trying to emulate real people is a lot more difficult than a cartoon character. But basically what this has led to is that Hollywood always hires voice actors and does voice coaching based on those people, not like, you know, newcomers. Essentially, it has caused an issue with people who want to go into voice acting. To do voice acting with? Yeah, it doesn't work. Using AI, it doesn't work. Oh yeah, on Discord, yeah, that can be funny. It's just like right now with the way the industry has been and also with the shit pay, voice acting, at least American voice acting or English voice acting, I don't really want to do. Just let me up, thank you. But, let's say for instance, you know, there's wind of, like, me being able to do voice acting in Spanish or Japanese. A voice acting company could be like, okay, so he could literally do 3 dubs and save us a ton of money. Turn into Dio from JoJo. Hello, Dio! 30-second delay. So, like, my other backup is, I learned how to do welding. So welding is, like, another backup that I have. Another backup that I have is, getting, interpretation certification. So there's that. Doing interpretation is, like, a huge thing that I want to do. And the deepest fucking voice enters the chat. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember that shit.
Jack of all trades. It's not a jack of all trades, I guess. It's more like I just have a lot of, I am able to, like, make use of the skills that I have achieved while doing the things that I've been wanting to do. Learning languages is huge because you have a lot of different opportunities. Like, the biggest thing and takeaway is that you could just go and live in the country and live like a normal person. You could just get a normal job like everybody else. You could work at, like, a convenience store or something. If you speak another language, you could just literally live in that country. So if jobs just don't work for you in one country, you could just go to another one. All the things, you'd be mid on all of them, yeah. Jack of all trades, master of none. Leave the house, but for others it would be good, yeah. Language is good for remote jobs as well, because you could do remote interpretation or translation. Or you can become a teacher. The problem with languages is that you need to be a social person. Fiverr translations? I'm not good enough for that. I want my stuff to be quality first. Well, if you do translation, you don't need to be social. Because the thing is that, translation, especially these days, if you're looking into translation, AI, you're gonna need to learn how to use AI correctly. Depending on the question. Yes, you may ask a question. I think I missed it entirely. I did. I definitely hit it that time, yeah. Enter game dev, you kept trying to learn everything, yeah. You need to know how to do everything, yeah. Yeah, in 5 more resets, I'll stop for the day. If I don't stream tomorrow, it's because I'm helping out my friend. Though there's a good chance that I'll still be streaming, that I'll stream tomorrow anyways. But I'm gonna be playing more Silk Song. Opinion on Silk Song so far? 8.5 out of 10. Very, very good game. The mechanics are very good. I think that it's a little confusing. Like it's got its it has its flaws. My biggest issue with it is that you have these like scripted fights where you have to fight all of the enemies in like a caged arena. It's not very dynamic and it's kind of boring. Those are like my least favorite parts. Stable job for better job with a higher salary, but it's further. If you'd prefer, okay. So this is life advice, right? If you will be happier with the job that gets you better money, then yes. If you're happy with your current job, then if you are happier with your current job, do not change it, even if it gives you better money. People say, what is my opinion on the price? Fuck anybody who says that it's underpriced. Because here's the thing, and I'm going to be very blunt about this. If you can't get people to buy your games, make them better. $20 is not underpriced. $20 used to be the standard. Because if you do things from a business standpoint, I'm going to do this from a business standpoint. If a game is $20, more people will buy it. If it's like a small dev team, I appreciate you. It's like 4 times more than your current one. My thing doesn't change. If you're happier with what you're doing, stay. If you think you will be happier with the other one, then go. That's all you need to know. Because if you're unhappy, you get more money, but you're unhappy, you will be miserable, and you will not be able to perform as well as you can at your current job. That is like... It's like, you can sacrifice your happiness for more money, but the thing is you will not... It will kill you on the inside. It's better for you to be happier and stable than for you to just make more money. Because you can always save money and live a stable life if you're happy with what you're doing. Very simple. But yeah, like, if people are complaining that it's too cheap, the thing is make your games cheaper, and you say, well, I can't make a profit with it. Well, then why did you put that much budget into it? Why did you put so much budget into it? Because if you make your game worth less, more people will buy it. Which means you will, even if it's like, you have to 3 times the people do that, you'll be happy with more money. Should you take the risk? I'm not going to give financial advice. If you think you'll be happier with more money, go for it. Just bear in mind that money is not always what makes you happy. Money is an addiction. It's not a full necessity. If you have enough, do it. Just torrent most of the games you play. Yeah. But it's the thing of, like, if you cannot compete with it, that's your fault. It's a skill issue. Games can make a profit off of being $20. If you get angry because a game is better than your game but costs less, then I think what you need to do is you need to make your game better. Or don't put so much budget into it and make your game more affordable, because more people will buy it if it's more affordable. I do not know a single person who would pay a better game for $60 over something that is slightly less quality, but it's worth $20. The game is too high quality for $20. No, it's not. Why would it be too high quality for $20? $20 is like 3 hours of work minimum in the United States. And it makes it affordable for in other countries. It is not underpriced for $20 for the quality. No, I think the game is actually perfectly fine where it's at. Because, like, if the game were worth $40, I would be hesitant to pay for it. If the game were worth $60, I would just torrent it. And mind you, I actually did get a DRM free copy from a friend. But here's the thing, the game is worth $20. When I am capable of spending that $20 on the game, I will. Absolutely. Cortex, very useful, yes. And compare it to other $20 games. Yeah, but if you compare it to other $20 games, the most sold game is $27. I mean, yeah, that's a pretty good comparison. Games don't need to be $60. I think $60 is fucking robbery, because most Americans have to work an entire full day just to buy it. And games that are worth $100, Americans have to work 2 days just to afford these games. And you know what you could be better spending your money on? Food. You could be spending it on entertainment outside of video games. Like, I think people need to understand that, like, a video game is not worth $60. It's not worth $100. No amount of effort put into a game is going to make it worth $60. Video games can make a profit off of 20 very easily, and I think 25 should be the most, maybe 30, that a video game should ever be. $60 is ridiculous. $40 is ridiculous. The only reason why people spend that much is because, well, it's standard. Because back when I was a kid, video games never went above 25 until the Xbox 360 days. I mean, maybe during the cartridge era it was different. But that was when video games were luxury. You also have to bear in mind, video games are not as much of a luxury anymore. They're not lucrative. They're like a mainstream thing. Why is it that a video game should cost $100? Why should a controller cost $100 when you're basically trading like 2 days of work when you could watch a movie on Netflix for like $10 a month? Think about that for a second. Or like, say, Spotify, where you could pay for premium, which I think is like $5-10. But then you say, okay, well, what if video games did that same model? Video games don't work because it's like, video games aren't interactive media. They don't work off of service. Games as a service is a terrible idea. Movies as a service makes a lot of sense, and even music as a service makes sense. But games as a service does not make sense. Because if it's if you have 10 people paying $10 a month, the people that made these games aren't getting much of a cut as they would selling the game itself. Games as a service does not make sense. In fact, it really destroys the developers. It really destroys the developers. It's really bad for the people that make the games. And it's really bad for the consumer as well. Is WoW games as a service? Maybe. Subscriptions for like PS3, those online things. So let me a solid 1,000 euros. That's awful. Why did the game just freeze like that? People do both. Yeah, but what if you can't? The question is not like, I mean, they do it, but what if you can't? This game gets remaked. I don't know if it should. The question is, what if it can't? What if you can't? What is going to be better for your profit? And what's going to be better for the people that make the games? Video games do not need highly... Can't then don't. But you could also make more money if you just make the games cheaper. Instead of basically squeezing it of resources. You can make a profit off $20. You just don't make as much of a profit. But most of the larger companies are only care about their bottom line. It's really what it boils down to. And then they focus on models that don't work, that prey off of people's instincts. They prey off of human emotion. I said I was going to stop at 1875. Like, I remember when games were $20. I know. I remember when games were $20, and you know how many more people... Like, people will buy a game more. Silk Song will probably get DLC. They're already selling the OST. Yeah. It's an okay price. It's good. It's a very good price. I think it should set a standard. I honestly think it should set the standard. It says it won't be profitable enough to make sense. Most likely. If GTA 6 were $200... GTA 6 were $100, more people would buy it than if it were $200. Games were cheaper to make back then. They're still not that much more expensive. A lot of it is, like, production value. Because the issue is not necessarily that... The issue isn't, like... Because if you think about it, it's like if they're making less money off of the game, they can't pay the developers. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. If you spent less money on graphics designers, you spend less money on sponsors, less money on things and executive decisions like games as a service model, a lot of other things, and you move the money towards the people who develop the games, especially if it's just the developers that are making the games. If the middlemen were not being bought out so much, you could cut that budget in a third, most likely, to where you only have the director, the producer, and the game devs. You could make a game $20 and it would make the same amount of money as it would with all of the in-betweens that don't make any sense, because all of the in-betweens slow the process down. There's a point where a game gets so expensive, less people will buy it and make a lower profit. Yes. There's also a point where it's too inexpensive that the game won't make a profit. But a lot of these are based off of classical business models, which these classical business models, while they make sense in some regards, they do not they are not like they're not long-term successful. And in fact, it has been causing a lot of businesses to fail, especially in the entertainment industry. Like, if budget were allocated better, you would be able to make the same amount of profit for making the games 1/3 of the price. And the thing is you'll make even more profit, because if the game costs less, but you also allocate the budget to where you're only using 1/3 of it for things that are necessary, and you could basically also push it to where it has more polish instead of adding all this stuff. If you think about it, it decreases the amount of time it takes to produce the game, because you have less in-betweens, less hierarchy, less BS, along with other things. So they have more time to polish the games, and then on top of that, the game will sell more because it costs less. And that means that more people will want to buy it and then be like, hey, look, this game is this price. Oh, I could buy it. I will not make Silksong videos now. So, like, Team Cherry making an indie game that's very good quality for $20, I think should set a standard in the industry. Of, like, realizing that the issues are budget allocation and that they can make a good profit by selling cheaper games that have higher quality. Because then it will allow for the people that are working on the game to get more money. And it could also make the programmers have higher wages. Basically by cutting the fluff and allocating the resources better. There's too much budget into games that make no sense. But there needs to be a lot of reform in how games get made. There needs to be a lot of reform in, like, the business models and everything. $6 on Steam for you. That's actually pretty nice. Some Steam games, they don't take into account how much money you can spend in other countries. But a lot of those games don't think of... Come on, reconnect. Reconnection successful, but now I...
Well, a power crystal. Yes, the crystal is mine. Keep back, you weak-minded fool. Avert your gaze or you'll go crystal crazy.
You done yet? I just dropped 50% of my frames. And I'm dropping more. Damn it. Am I back yet? Oh, come on. I Everybody hit refresh. What? No. Okay. All right.